Good morning. I'm Harley Schlanger from the LaRouche organization with your daily video update for February 28th, 2024. It's a Wednesday, so this will be a somewhat abbreviated update because I'll be doing a webcast dialogue with Helga Zepp-LaRouche in a little while. I will include the link for that in the description section and also an address where you can send your questions or comments for her. Each week she takes questions and comments from viewers. It's an opportunity to be in touch with one of the great minds of our century. So take advantage of it, and I'll put that in the description section. I'm going to be just discussing one thing this morning, and that's the new level of dysfunction of the European Union. It's hard to imagine how bad an experiment this has turned out to be, but it keeps getting worse. Today they heard from the widow of Alexei Navalny, who gave an impassioned appeal for war against Russia. There's no other way to interpret it. She called Putin the head of a criminal enterprise. She said Russia's a beautiful country run by a criminal gang, organized crime. With no evidence, she accused Putin of killing her husband. The crowd, the European parliamentarians, went berserk, cheering and stomping and showing an outpouring of bloodthirsty desire for war with Russia. That's what's on the agenda of Europe right now. One military leader after another from the NATO countries is talking about the imminence of a Russian invasion of Europe with absolutely no evidence. With obviously they didn't listen to Putin when he told Tucker Carlson that he wouldn't invade Poland. Why? Well, why should he? He said. The only reason Russia would go to war with Poland would be if Poland attacked them. Well, with the new foreign minister Sikorski in Poland, don't be so shocked if the Polish army does a feint toward Moscow to try and provoke something. The leadership of the European Union is destroying the agricultural sector of the country, of the countries. That's why the farmers are out en masse. They're destroying the industry. They're using sanctions and other such policies to drive up the costs for the people of Europe. The shutting down of the oil flows and gas flows from Russia of cheap energy have had a dramatic effect on the economies of the standard of living of people in the European Union. That's why the farmers are out in the streets, because they're being shut down by a combination of efforts of the global financial cartels, the food cartels, the companies that control the distribution of food, that buy it cheap from the farmers. In fact, they're buying it not even from the European farmers, they're buying it cheap from developing sector countries. They're looting the poorest countries in the world of food to replace the food that's not being produced by farmers in Europe that are being shut down by green policy, regulation, high-priced diesel, and so on. That's why I say it's a dysfunctional but insane dysfunction. And it was clear from the reception given to the widow of Alexei Navalny of a blood-curdling enthusiasm for an attack on Russia. We also saw that this week with the comments from France's President Macron. Obviously, he's upset that the remnants of the French colonial policy in Africa are in tatters. The people of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso have risen up against the French, thrown them out. They're saying, we're not going to be your colonies anymore. You're not going to get our raw materials for free. And clearly Macron is reacting to that. And so what did he say? He said he wouldn't rule out NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine. So it's not enough to kill off all Ukrainians. Now you have to kill off French, Germans, Spaniards, Italians, Belgians, and others. That's what Macron is talking about. And is there a voice coming out against that? Well, there are. But do you hear it? No, because the other aspect of the European Union is top-down censorship. I'll have more on this in the coming days, but the European Union is going with a censorship program and a control of social media, which goes beyond what we've seen in the United States with the role of Facebook and others in trying to silence alternative voices, YouTube and others. The Europeans are adopting a standard policy which will give control to NATO cyber warfare experts over what can be posted on the internet, what can be sent out on email. It's a regime of spying that would go beyond what Edward Snowden exposed in the United States. So this is the European policy. It's a colony of the United States, a colony of Britain. And when I attack Europe, look, these are not policies made in Europe. They're made at the Atlantic Council, the Council on Foreign Relations, Chatham House. They're dictated from the banks and financial institutions of the City of London. Interestingly, we just saw this report come out in the New York Times, which told us what we already knew, that the U.S. played an active role in the form of the CIA in the overthrow of the elected Yanukovych government in Ukraine in 2014. This was the George Soros, Victoria Nuland NATO operation to bring a pro-neo-Nazi regime into power in Kiev. And that's the regime that the European Union and NATO are demanding be funded to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars to kill Russians and kill Ukrainians. And now, according to Macron, maybe killing Frenchmen as well. So that's a quick wrap up on the new record level of dysfunction coming from the moronic robots in the European Union. I'll have more later today with Helga Zepp-LaRouche. Thanks for joining me. You can sign up for these updates. You can go to the page on the LaRoucheOrganization.com. Go to my page, you click on programs, and you'll see daily Harley updates. Click on that and you can sign up so you'll be notified every day when we put up an update. And you can also subscribe there. So see you later today. Bye. Hello, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Support our independence to produce videos like these. Become a member of the LaRouche Organization at thelarouche.org/member. By becoming a member for $25 or more, you'll get special access to the EIR Alert Daily Briefing and Weekly Magazine, which is what I read to stay on top of things.